25,000 crores a month.
You're absolutely right. The amount of revenue that we generate is close to around 3.5 lakh crore rupees.
We won the same price as of Gurgaon and Bangalore. Hello and welcome to another episode of The Tuhin Show. The city is known by its culture, history, people. We bring you the people of one such city in Icons of Bengaluru. My guest today is the MD of a brand which was established right after independence, Amrut, giving a big competition to the Brits when they departed, creating our own elixir of life, the first Indian Single Malt which is up against the best of the world and always winning accolades and keeps the Make in India liquid on top. Please welcome Rakshit Jagdale.
Thank you.
How are you doing? How's the day looking?
Oh, well, it's always bright and it's happening every day. Yes.
It's a sunny day. The summer is here.
Absolutely, yes.
Are you liking it?
Oh, yes. I think it's a different season.
First of all, let me wish you happy 75 years. This is the really Amrut Mahotsav which is going on.
Yes, please. Yes. Thank you so much. Yes, it's been 75 years since my grandfather established a business in 1948, very much in the city center of Bangalore, where just next to the Kantirva Stadium.
Right.
And that is the home of Amrut. And that's where the distillery was established 75 years ago.
So what was it like? After 47, you wanted something to celebrate about? Then you made your own alcohol.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. In fact, in 1948, when he established the distillery, my grandfather, that is Radhakrishna Rao in Jagdale, and he started as a blending and bottling unit. And we launched our first brand called Silver Cup Brandy, which was a blended brandy. Way back in 1948. And in the 50s, we began to rectify rum. It's a very small rectification column that we had. And we began to rectify rum in 1950s. And around 50s, we launched Amrut XXX rum. Right. So these were the first two brands that we launched, Silver Cup in 48, Amrut XXX rum in 55, 56. And the same Amrut rum we introduced in the canteen stores department in 1963 as a contract rum. And that one rum was so popular. Even today, there's a lot of brand recall for Amrut XXX rum within the canteen stores department. So it's been a wonderful journey so far.
So from rum, you dabbled into brandy and then got into blended whiskey, where you introduced molasses and malt, and then got into all in all malt whiskies, and then came the amalgam.
Oh, yes, absolutely, yes.
Which changed the world and which changed Amrut's face, India's face in the world.
Yes. See, the journey actually, of course, began in 1948 with my grandfather. And in 72, my respected father joined the family business. And it was then that he pioneered the concept of premiumization way back in the 70s itself. So when he joined, we began to distill brandy from a well-known variety of grape called Bangalore Blue, which is still grown on the outskirts of Bangalore, which is very good for table wine, but also you can make outstanding brandy out of it. Right. So we began to distill brandy in 76. We moved on to distill malt whiskey in 1980. So basically we were adding and maturing it. We had a very small maturation warehouse within the heart of Bangalore. This was, I'm talking early 80s, right. 81, 82, with probably just about 50 to 100 casks. And we would mature it for a year and a half, and we would use it for blending it. And in the 80s, we launched a very popular brandy called Bijoy's, which is even popular today. It's called Bijoy's Blended Grape Brandy. Right. and we also launched a whiskey called Prestige Blended Malt Whiskey. So a large percentage of the matured brandy and matured whiskey went into Bijoy's and Prestige respectively.
What's the Amalgam story? Amalgam hitting the international market first in Glasgow. You are going all out, the freshmen out of the college, of the B school, and you're taking all the samples across the world. People are drinking it, and they're like, oh, this is like Speyside, but it is coming from India.
Yes, absolutely. Well, in 2001, my father sent me to the University of Newcastle upon Tyne in northeast England. And as you know, this was in October 2001. And in 2002, just want to get your certificate that you've graduated with an MBA degree, you have to complete a thesis, a project work. And I still recall, it was on a Sunday, and I was walking down the high street in Newcastle. It's known as Northumberland Street. And my father calls me, I still vividly remember, and says, what are you doing? I said, I had my lunch, I'm just taking a stroll. I said, what are your plans for the project? I said, I want to do a theoretical project on supply chain management. Theoretical project? No. Why don't you try and see if there's a scope for marketing an Indian single malt whiskey within the Indian restaurants in Great Britain? I said, that's fantastic, but how are we going to do that? He said, don't worry about it. I'll have miniatures shipped across to you to Newcastle, so you can do your thesis, and I would like you to present, do a live project for the company and present a report. It was a marketing and financial feasibility report for launching an Indian single malt whiskey. Obviously, it was Amrut in the Indian restaurants in the UK. So, bulk of my survey was done in Newcastle, in Glasgow, in Edinburgh, in the Midlands, in Birmingham and Manchester, and a little bit in London as well. And 2002, I presented the project to my father. He was very excited and very interesting. And during the project that I undertook, during the sampling sessions, people liked the quality a lot. I'll take you through a very small incident. This was around, it was in August 2002. We had our first importer called Alistair Sinclair, who was our first importer for the European Union. My father and him were great friends, so he helped me to do the survey in Glasgow. So we went to this pub called Pot Still in the center of Glasgow. And if you happen to go to Glasgow, you should not miss it. He has got the most amazing collection of malt whiskies in the world.
Right.
So we went there in the afternoon and we met the then owner, Mr. Ken Story. And he tasted it. It was around 1 o'clock. He was extremely happy, impressed with the quality.
Right.
He said, this is outstanding malt. Come back in the evening. I will offer it to my consumers as an anonymous malt.
Okay.
Let us try and elicit some feedback. So we popped back I went back there by about 6 o'clock, and we were sitting at the corner table and observing the consumers. So he pours a little dram under the table and gives it to these 3-4 consumers who have come. And everybody looks at it, they look at the color, they tasted it, and they say, oh, this is a 12-year-old Irish whiskey, this is a 10-year-old Lowland whiskey. he said, not at all, it comes from India. And they said, what? And it was like jaw-dropping awes.
Yeah.
There were such instances, that helped us and convince ourselves actually that we produced exceptionally good quality whiskey. So that benchmark of quality hasn't changed even for the past 20 years, and it's never going to change.
A story you've told me, it's taking me there, and the nose, the taste. What I come up with this is it's the springs and grass of Speyside and spice of India, which is hitting everyone awestruck.
Yes, please. Yes. In fact, the main theme, after I finished my thesis, I got my MBA degree, came back and presented the project to the board, and it took us 2 years to conform to the European regulations on packaging. And on August 24, 2004, we launched India's first single malt whiskey Amrut in Scotland. In Glasgow.
Yeah.
In an Indian restaurant called Cafe India. So that was the first step, I must say, to many in actually creating the category of Indian single malt whiskey what it is today. Yes.
Now, to subsist this brand, a lot of people contributed towards making the brand successful and making a numero uno on the world map. So, would you like to mention these people who were like the key pillars of Amrut?
Oh yes, I mean, of course, to begin with, our founder and my grandfather, there's no doubt about it. And certainly the foundation on which we all stand today is my respected father. I think it was his thought, of premiumization, as I mentioned way back in the 70s itself. In 72, three key individuals joined the organization. One was my respected father, Mr. Jagdale, our Director of Finance and General Administration, Mr. P.B. Lakshmanan, and our Technical Director, Mr. M. Mayappan. So these three, they are the three pillars of Amrut. And both Mr. Lakshman and Mr. Mayappan have completed 52 years, 72, and they're still active within Amrut. So I think how much ever I speak, I think I'll fall short of words to describe these three individuals. Suppose in 86, Mr. Surinder came and joined Amrut. He is a product of CFTRI and who played a pivotal role in crafting Amrut, along with my father, Mr. Mayappan and Mr. Lakshman. And then I met Ashok in 2001.
Where did you meet him?
It was on the 13th of September 2001. The university had arranged an orientation program to orient the students who came from abroad, and that's where I met Ashok. And we were really thrilled that we were just about 3 Indians that were there, and 2 of them were from Bangalore, myself and a friend called Ketan, and of course Ashok I met there. And for a year we did the MBA together, and then he was in the UK for a short while, for 2-3 months, and he came back here. He was the IT sector for about a year, and then in 2004 we have a common friend called Amit Khakanis from Bombay. Yeah, and he actually told, why don't you ask Ashok if he would be interested to go back to the UK and look after and nurture the project. So I approached him and he was very keen. And Vikram, who is my brother-in-law and my John managing director, joined the family business in 2003. So since you asked the question, so there are so many people, I would like to thank, starting from the workers of Amrut, going right up till the chairman. Each and every single person has contributed to what Amrut is today. I think we cannot single out a single person, but obviously this one individual is definitely my respected father. I think without him, I don't think so we would have been here today, to be honest.
We were privileged to meet him and taste whiskies with him, and it was just amazing. The way he pampered us, it was incredible. Yes. There is something unique about Indian weather which you came about. You were the first movers of Indian single malt. Of course, you were the ones who thought that yes, we can have a single malt from India and let's give a competition to the Scots and to the Brits. And what was that unique feature which you discovered?
We all know that when we cask alcohol, whether it's rum, whether it's brandy, whether it's whiskey, generally we cask our barrels anything between 60 to 61.5, 62%. And what happens is oxidation happens, the exchange of oxygen. So according to me, I feel that the barrel is actually breathing.
Right.
So because of the climatic conditions, maturing in tropical climatic conditions like Bangalore, we lose close to about 10% every year as angel share, or is known as evaporation losses. Right. So whereas in Scotland, the average loss is about 2%, 1.5 to 2%. So actually alcohol in general, whether it's rum or whiskey, ages faster, I would say, in tropical conditions than in temperate climatic conditions. So that's why if you take whiskies that or rums that come from Caribbean islands, they are matured for these standard rums are matured for 2, 3, 4 years. And the age profile of those rums is 12, 15 years. Likewise, when we mature our whiskies in India, it is more or less a known factor. A 3-year-old is equivalent to a 9 or a 10-year-old whiskies or alcohol that is matured in temperate climatic conditions. That's so yeah, I think alcohol matures faster in tropical conditions. To give an example, my father would always give this analogy. It's like a fruit. You get an unripe banana, and you keep it in the conditions, say in Bangalore, for about 2 days. Third day it would ripen.
Right.
You get an unripe banana and keep it, say, in Scotland, and it would take time for it to ripen. It's as simple as that, to give a very, very simple example. So I think we are able to churn out whiskies much quicker.
Do you think you contributed to the economy of India after independence? You were one of the major ones contributing to the economy of India.
See, I would not like to single out Amrut itself. If you look at the alcohol industry as a whole, if I can pitch that to you, we generate a lot of revenue to different individual state governments.
25,000 crores a month.
No, I think, yeah, it is. You're absolutely right. The amount of revenue that we generate is close to around 3.5 lakh crore rupees. If you convert that into, say, US dollars, it's close to about 38 to 40 billion dollars in revenue. Now, I wish, honestly, that revenue went to the central government, but it goes to individual states because alcohol taxation, like in the US, it's a federal subject.
Right.
Karnataka is different. Maharashtra views alcohol taxation differently. Haryana views it differently. Say, Assam views it differently. And so we have been contributing in our own way. And a large portion today of alcohol revenue, the individual state governments are dependent. Almost to 25, as low as 20%, can go up to 30-35%. So yes, we silently we have played our role, I would say.
No, we also contributed through our taxes.
Yep. Yes.
Yes, we've been contributing a lot.
Yes, absolutely.
So if I want to take interest-free loans from you, I can do that. Interest नहीं दूंगा, पैसा वापस कर दूंगा.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Okay. Single Malt made debut in 2004 in Glasgow. Then 2010 it made a debut in India. Amrut is all over the place. It is on the world map. What was the reaction you got from?
Reaction was people were completely in awe. So in 2004 we launched in Glasgow. It was only in 2010 that we introduced Amrut Single Malt Whisky in India, saying that India is capable of producing top-class single malt whiskies. So once we had that certificate abroad, then we introduced it in India. There was a Welsh whiskey called Penderyn, and we were there. We were just two. Then now you have the world of whiskies. You have whiskies coming in from Australia, whiskies coming in from Taiwan with Cavalan. Of course, India, you have host of whiskey single malts coming in from India and England and France and Germany. So now the world whiskey category for single malt whiskey is growing.
Right.
Yeah. So the acceptance was difficult to begin with, and in 2010, Jim Murry rated Amrut Fusion very highly, gave it 97 out of 100, and gave it the third finest malt whiskey in the world. And that was one of the defining moments.
That was not your marketing strategy, na, to pay Jim Murray and get a
please,
thing?
No, not at all. I think I must say that Mr. Jim Murray is a man of tremendous integrity and honesty.
We have all read his Whiskey Bible.
Yes, tremendous integrity, and we respect him for that. And he'll always have a special place within our heart for Jim is concerned for Amrut.
Yeah, every year he's been coming out with the Bible, and that's the only Bible people are buying every year.
The Whiskey Bible, yes.
43 single malts, 32 blended whiskey, sold across 56 countries. It was not easy. It was a Herculean task. You have come a long way. It's been 75 years. Why some of the expressions not in India?
Well, see, most of our expressions are at cask strength, that is bottled 50% and above. In India, according to the FSSAI regulations, we can bottle anything between alcohol, spirit, and we bottle anything between 37.5% and to a maximum of 50%, not going beyond that. So, that being the case, most of our special editions we launch abroad at higher than 50%. And we are very keen to introduce more products in India itself. But frankly, we don't have enough quantity to sell, to cater to the global demand, including India. And like people say, it's a nice problem to have. So we're working around the problem. I think in 2025, I think there'll be good amount of Amrut coming through the production line so that we can hopefully meet the global demand.
I want to talk about the fun fact which a lot of people don't know. You started off as an alcohol company to give alcohol for cough syrups, to make cough syrups.
Yes.
And then your grandfather realized कि इसका तो शराब बनाते हैं.
No. I think way back in the mid 40s, and he came with a very strong BSc background. He is a graduate, a science graduate with bachelor's in science, and pharma was his passion. So probably that was, I presume, I should have asked my father that. He would have certainly known, or maybe I must ask Mr. Lakshman, who worked extremely close with our founder. Probably he'll be knowing as to what was probably one of the main reasons for him to move into the IMFL space, into the distilling business. So probably, yeah, I think as an offshoot to the pharma business, you are absolutely right. Probably he would have thought in those days for sure.
Let's make more money. India is independent.
Yes, of course.
The first make in India move.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
What do you have to say about excise law in India?
Well, it's complicated. And each state, as I had mentioned, because of the federal nature of taxation in India, it's a extremely regulated business. These were laws which were laid down by the British. I think they have moved on from the draconian laws that they had laid down way back in before 1947. I think we're still holding on to that to dear life, I guess. I think the thought has to change. I think over a period of time, I think it will mature and it will evolve. I'm hoping so. Yes, it's highly regulated business. Mature democracies are now coming to realize that regulating an industry, it's not good for the industry, but a certain amount of deregulation is certainly required.
We won the same prize as of Gurgaon and Bangalore.
Well, I don't know whether that's going to ever happen, because the prohibition is in that charter of the constitution that states must endeavor to bring in prohibition. So until that is addressed, I don't think so. There can never be a common alcohol policy in the country, never. States are interested because we as an industry contribute enormous revenue to respective state governments. As I had mentioned, close to 3.5 lakh crores, which is equivalent to 2 months of the entire country's GST. Wow. So it's not small amount. So I wish state and central governments take note of this and give us the respect that as any other industry gets. That's only a request that we have from an industry perspective.
But what was your childhood dream? You always wanted to be in the alcohol business, or you wanted to do something else?
Well, we grew up in a distilling family. So my aspiration was and desire was to follow my grandfather's and my father's footsteps and join the family business.
Alcohol was in the blood.
Well, my father was very clear that you should drink alcohol only after you earn. You should not drink for my father's money. Right. He was very clear. So only when I graduated, when I was 21, and then when I earned my salary, then he said, okay, now you're eligible. So, and then, yeah, of course, responsible drinking.
Jao factory mein jaake ek bottle bhar ke le aao.
Well, he encouraged always responsible drinking. And I think that's been in my psyche ever since.
Then one thing, there are no miniatures, there are no merchandise. You don't need marketing, because we are like the pioneers of Indian Single Malt. We don't need marketing. Why these things are not there?
Well, that's a good question. I think a lot went in between 2004. I think for the first 6-7 years to get the word around. So, but we are not taking this lightly. We're not resting back on our glory days and saying and being complacent about it. We always keep innovating, coming out with fresher thoughts, coming out with new product lines within the single malt whiskey category. Yes, I think going forward we'll be on the marketing front, we'll be more aggressive than what we have been so far.
Yes, people want those miniatures. Questions came from Dubai that why there are no miniatures.
I think probably from April, May onwards, we've set up a new bottling line, which is capable of bottling starting from 50 ml, going up till 4.5 liters. So we'll be bottling the miniatures on that line.
Don't worry, it's going to be pocket friendly in your pocket very soon.
Absolutely.
What's the oldest whiskey you have?
Coming April and May, we'll be launching India's oldest whiskey ever bottled. Okay, it will be in the.
How old is
I
that?
can't spill the beans at the moment.
Don't spill the beans, spill the malt.
So yeah, we have launched the Greedy 8, the Greedy Angels 12, the Greedy 10. So it'll be much older than that for sure.
How old? बताओ ना,
Oh,
उम्र बता दो
ना. Probably after recording, I tell you.
Is it 8 years, 10 years?
No,
11 years?
it's over 12 years.
Over 12 years.
Yeah.
So 12 into 3, 36 years in Scotland.
Yeah, you can say that for sure. Yes, and it's over 12 years. So it's over 13 years also. So I can go.
Wow. And that's got to be an expensive thing.
Yeah.
Now, coming back to your bachpan and you representing India at the age of 11, you won silver at Asian Age Group swimming competition in Japan, and then in Singapore you won a bronze. And then your father set up the most amazing thing, which was Basunaguri Aquatic Center. He was a philanthropist. How are you taking this legacy forward?
Basari Aquatic Center was established in 1986. My father was the founding president of the center, and there were many people whom I often call as the founding fathers of BAC, as it is popularly known as. We are probably one of the largest competitive swimming training centers in the world. We have, in all, we have close to about 1,600 swimmers who swim regularly, out of which 800 are focused on competitive swimming. So, and it's one of the largest public health programs that we run. Annually, close to about 300,000 people, 3 lakh people come and swim at Basari Aquatic Center, which is a corporation swimming pool, which the government has been kind enough, and the BBF has been kind enough to give it to us on a very long lease of 30 years. I think aquatic sports in country is growing, and today it's an important life-saving skill, learning to swim. If schools encourage that at least majority of them learn to swim, I think certainly you will get, amongst this huge population of us, you will definitely find, you will get a Janet Evans or you'll definitely have a Michael Phelps in there. It's only searching that needle in that haystack, but the needle exists,
Right.
as I firmly believe. So it's been now almost 35 years that we have managed this center. I grew up very close to the Basari Aquatic Center, and that's why our connect, my personal connect with the center is much deeper than what it is here.
So what stopped you from representing India after the age of 11?
Sadly enough, I had back-to-back injuries.
Okay.
In '89, I represented India first time, and as you mentioned, 11 years we won I was a part of the relay team that won the silver medal in Sapporo in Japan at the third Asian age group. And in 91, we won a bronze at the Asia Pacific swimming competition for India that was in Singapore. And then in 93, I was down with an injury with the muscle tear. In 94, sadly, I had a slip disc. And after that, it sort of put an end to my competitive swimming career. Yes, so, but then I still enjoy the sport, administering it now, and still swim for health. So that's good.
Before we go to our rapid fire, I have a very big question, and it's an international question now, that whiskies have a big portfolio for investment as well. And what do you have to say about that? How can people invest in whiskies through bottles, through casks? They can park their money, and it's always appreciating.
That concept has increased and has taken shape, especially overseas. But in India, our regulations don't permit it for somebody to invest in a cask and preserve that cask and bottle it for them later. So we are working with our state government over here in Karnataka to see that that mindset changes. And I must say that without Amrut would not have been here today without the support of the government of Karnataka.
My idea is, I don't know people have started this or not, there are gold bonds, right? There can be whiskey bonds as well, where you don't have to sell the liquid, but the bond, which is always appreciating. So why not get into the whiskey bonds rather than selling the casks?
It's a wonderful concept, a very creative idea, in fact, must give life to that thought. But that again, having said that, we should try and function within the framework of our respective state government excise laws.
Right.
And maybe, I think, try and have a dialogue with the government and say that they deregulate certain areas and they simplify certain rules and regulations that already exist, which I can speak for the state of Karnataka, which the already government is doing that with industry's efforts. So I think over a period of time, we should be able to graduate to that level.
Yeah, you invest in gold, why not in liquid
why
gold?
not liquid gold? That was a good one.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Guardian of the Galaxies.
Guardians of the Galaxy is who?
I am Ruth. Amrut.
That was a good one. Okay.
It's supposed to be a PJ. People are giving me face palm. I am Ruth. Are you strong on nose or palate?
I think I'm strong on the nose. Palate, it's okay, but I'm stronger on the nose.
Okay.
Because we keep having conversations with Ashok. So he's strong on both nose and palate. But his palate is much stronger than the nose. My nose is when I'm tasting, nose is much stronger than the palate.
What is your connection with Bangalore?
I think I was born here, outstanding city, true way, cosmopolitan in every sense, the best place in the world.
And you should say, I am contributing to the economy of this state. Love, hate, tolerate about Bangalore.
There's nothing I hate about Bangalore. I love the city. Of course, traffic is something we have to tolerate. But nothing to hate, honestly, nothing.
What do you love?
I think the people. They're very tolerant. The language, Kannada, beautiful language.
Right. And it's easy to learn also the language.
Yes, it is. Yes.
3 places in Bangalore which you love the most.
Definitely the Lal Bagh Gardens. Of course, Basari Aquatic Center and say Vidhan Saudha.
Why don't they switch on lights at night? Are they saving electricity? Because they promise too much?
I think that's a good concept, I think, to light up Vidhan Saudha, not only on special days, whether it's Republic Day or Independence Day, or on Kannada Rajyotsava Day, which is 1st of November.
They don't light it
They should light it up. I think some amount of lighting is important. It's a fantastic, monumental building.
Yes.
It's beautiful, I think it is.
A thing you have done before but will not do again. किसी ने दिल तोड़ा था, प्यार हुआ था.
Probably not drink too much, I think, I would guess.
What did you do?
There are occasions where, when we started, of course, I had a little bit, 1 or 2 more drinks, so that it reminds you the next day. That's something that
What happened on that day?
It was just with friends, we were socializing and we think we all went a little bit overboard.
Oh, you did? What did you guys do? Did you break something?
No, we didn't break anything. We were
Tell. Were you dancing?
So we got a little bit more tipsy than normal.
Okay.
And that's it, nothing else.
That's it.
That's
You're not telling.
No, honestly.
There is something.
No, honestly.
You're hiding something.
No.
No. You have to. What's the most romantic thing you've ever done? Was that night only when you drank too
No.
much?
Definitely not. Taken my wife out for a surprise dinner when I first met her. I went and surprised her. She comes from Pune, so that was she was quite surprised when I did that in the
What
evening.
was the surprise like? What did you do?
I ended up there in the evening, and she's quite surprised to see me. So we just went out for dinner, and that was it.
That was the most romantic
That's
thing
one
you've
thing I
ever done. Where's your brother-in-law? What is wrong with him? Why is he not so romantic? What's the most romantic thing he has ever done? Tell me.
You're asking me?
See, when people have rough day at work, they go home and drink. If you have rough day at work, do you start drinking here?
No. No, definitely not.
No.
We never drink on the job.
Okay.
Off duty, yes. If it's a rough day, it's not that we have a rough day, we go and hit the bottle in the night and doze off. No, it's not that. It's not that. It's always responsible drinking.
The 75-year legacy is there for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah, true. Absolutely.
What's your go-to dance move? Let's do 1, 2,
1, 2, 3, just, yeah.
Holding someone or just...
Alone. I mean, if my wife is there, obviously I have to hold her. Otherwise, alone.
What is the move? Show me the move for the camera so that we can have some at least 5-second move we can have. The most scandalous thing you have ever heard or you would tell your kids?
Well, there was this incident in Ooty where, as you know, Bijoy is a very popular brandy over here in Karnataka, in South India. This particular brand is not available in state of Tamil Nadu. We have a guest house there, and whenever we used to go to Ooty to spend a couple of days there, we used to carry a bottle or two of brandy from here, from the retail shops here. And so we had left, I think there was 2 bottles of brandy that were left at our guest house for some time in, I think it was in late 1990s, I remember, 99 or 98. There was a thief, obviously, who broke into the guest house, and along with a few clothes that we had left, he picked up these 1 bottle of brandy, Bijoy's brandy, and we launched a complaint saying that clothes and a bottle of brandy is missing. And you will not believe it, the police went and nabbed the thief, and he was denying. He said, how on earth you got this brandy bottle of Bijoy's, which is not available in this state? It's lying it's lying at home. Then obviously he said, yes, I picked up the clothes along with this brandy. So
there was one more case which came in the newspaper that somebody was bribed with the Amrut case.
Oh yes. there was a bribe that instead of paying money, I think the bribe was more lure them into accepting the bribe was a case of Amrut fusion.
Okay.
That also came in the paper, yes.
3 things people should keep in mind while drinking.
Pace yourself, be extremely responsible, be very watchful of your drink. Never leave your drink half empty. So always finish your drink and then you can.
Don't let it go waste.
Let it go waste.
It's the elixir of life.
Don't let it go waste, or if you want to go and meet somebody, always carry your drink with you.
What was the last lie you have told? Oh, it came in your head.
Yeah, we had a small get-together at home, my cousin. So my wife said not more than a drink. So I said, I went a little bit ahead. I said, no, I've just stuck to 1. So that was. Please don't put that up, huh?
Yeah, you had more than 1. And you lied to your wife. You're gone, man. I need just 2 cars to hide this question. If you have to take any historical figure out to taste your whiskey, who would that be?
Maybe Julius Caesar, I would say.
Julius Caesar.
Yeah, he was one of the most benevolent emperors of the Roman Empire. Probably with him, I guess.
And he would have more men in his army, and they can take your cask and give it to them. And do the big marketing of that. What do you have to say about your style? What is style for you?
I think my wife keeps telling I'm very orthodox in the way I dress and other things. So I'm not in tune with the times, I guess. But I'm happy with how I dress. More formal most of the times.
Right. I've never seen you in a jeans.
No, and normally I during college, yes, even in college itself, it was I would wear cotton trousers, jeans very, very, very rarely, very rarely.
If you could create a cocktail inspired by the spirit of Amrut, what would it be called?
I think call it Amrut Mahotsav itself.
So 75 years of Bharat, 76 years of Bharat and 75 years of Amrut, you go hand in hand.
Absolutely, yes, yes, yes. We do.
What is your message to people?
The message to people is be patriotic, love your country more than anything else. That's my message to people.
Well, thank you so much for giving your time and lovely chatting with you.
It's been an experience, especially the rapid fire, and thank you so much, as I mentioned, for your love for Amrut and patronizing the brand. Thank you so much.
Very difficult to churn out things from you. Yeah, very difficult. But so lovely to talk to you. Rakshit Jagdale is the MD of Amrut. They're celebrating 75 years of Amrut. Many congratulations once again.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, as the great Ratan Tata said, in the game of wealth, patience is the currency that pays highest dividends. Rakshit Jagdale, MD of Amrut Distillery, an icon of Bengaluru. This is the Tuhin Show.